Welcome to Cheater Confessions. Let's get started with today's story. I woke up to the sound of my phone buzzing on the nightstand. It was 2:14 a.m., the kind of hour when good news never arrives. The screen lit up with a message from Judith, my wife. She was in Las Vegas for a 3-day marketing conference with her boss, Charles Mercer. I rubbed my eyes, opened the text, and stared at it until my vision cleared. It wasn't just a message, it was a selfie. Judith stood beside Charles, both of them red-faced and laughing, holding champagne bottles. She wore a cheap white veil with sequins. Behind them, a neon sign flickered the words, Lucky Love Chapel. On her hand, where her wedding ring used to be, there was a fake diamond ring that looked like it came out of a vending machine. The caption underneath the photo was short and sharp. Married my boss. Don't wait up. For a second, I thought it was some kind of prank. Then I zoomed in on the reflection in the glass door behind them. I could see the faint logo of a Vegas chapel license office. It wasn't a joke. Most men would have lost control right there. I didn't. I just sat there, letting the silence stretch. Then I typed a single word. Perfect. I took a screenshot of the message, saved it to my secure drive, and turned off notifications. Then I got out of bed, walked into my home office, and sat down at my desk. My heartbeat slowed. I wasn't angry anymore. I was awake in the truest sense. Judith had just burned down 6 years of marriage with a bottle of champagne and a neon sign. But I wasn't going to dig through the ashes. I was going to build the fireproof vault around what was left. I opened my laptop, created a new folder, and labeled it Judith Vegas Incident. Then I began the first note of my new plan. 2:14 a.m. Received message. Evidence preserved. Response sent. I wasn't thinking like a husband anymore. I was thinking like an operations director facing a crisis. When things collapse, you don't shout. You act. That morning, I opened my contacts and scrolled to Amelia Hart, my personal attorney. She wasn't my corporate lawyer. Amelia handled complicated divorces and asset protection cases. I called her. Judith just sent me a selfie, I said without wasting a second. From Vegas. She's with her boss. They got married. Amelia paused for a beat. She admitted that in writing? Yes. Do you still have the message? I saved it. And the picture. Her tone sharpened. Good. Don't delete anything. Don't reply again. Not a word. From now on, no contact unless through me. Understand? Okay. Go to your bank's website and freeze every joint account, she continued. Checking, savings, credit cards, all of them. If she's in Vegas, she's spending your money right now. Cut the cord. I logged into the bank portal. 3 joint credit cards, 1 joint checking account, each with recent transactions, first-class flights, a Bellagio suite, expensive dinners, a jewelry store, and a line item labeled Clark County Marriage License Fee. I stared at it for a moment. It felt surreal, seeing betrayal turned into bank data. Then I clicked Freeze Account. After that, I called Amelia again. All done, I said. Amelia's voice dropped an octave. Listen carefully. If she filed that license, it's not just infidelity. It's bigamy. That's a felony in our state. Keep the screenshot, the receipts, and any proof of where she was and who she was with. We'll need it. I leaned back in my chair. When the call ended, I looked around. It felt like the command center of a battle I hadn't chosen but was ready to win. Judith was still somewhere in Vegas, unaware that her credit cards were now useless. I opened my browser and started digging. Most Vegas chapels streamed their weddings for friends and family. I searched for every neon-lit hole in the wall. After half an hour, I found it. The site had an archive labeled Recent Ceremonies. There it was, Mercer Wedding, recorded Friday. I clicked play. The video was grainy, but I could see Judith clearly, hair loose, wearing a white dress. Charles was beside her, swaying a little. An Elvis impersonator stood between them, singing off-key while they giggled like teenagers. Then came the vows. I, Judith Parker, take you, Charles Mercer. The audience cheered. They signed something. The officiant said, Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Mercer. My stomach went cold. I downloaded the video, saved it to the same secure folder, and wrote down the timestamp. It wasn't just evidence of betrayal, it was legal proof of a second marriage. Next, I checked Judith's work expenses. She'd submitted travel receipts for this same conference, all paid by the company. I saw the corporate credit card listed on the hotel bill and the airfare. That wasn't just immoral. It was a compliance nightmare. I had enough to burn both their careers down. I called Amelia again. Got the proof, I said. What kind? Video? Paper trail. Company money is involved. She paused, then said, Good. Don't share it yet. We'll use it in two directions, criminal and corporate. You'll handle the office, I'll handle the DA. Understood. I closed my laptop. I wasn't going to chase Judith's story. I was going to end it, one fact at a time. Next, I forwarded everything to Vera Shaw, the head of compliance at Judith's company. I didn't expect a reply, but 20 minutes later she called. This is serious. I'll arrange a meeting at our office today. When we met, she looked puzzled. I slid a folder across the table. Evidence of misconduct involving Charles Mercer and an employee under his supervision. My wife, Judith. She blinked. Your wife? Yes. There's also misuse of company funds. Flights, lodging, and meals are charged to the corporate card. And, I added, tapping the USB drive, a video from Vegas showing them in a wedding ceremony. Vera's face went pale. She plugged in the drive, skimmed the files, and let out a slow breath. This is HR policy violations, expense fraud, conflict of interest. Maybe worse. I thought so, I said. I'm reporting it through proper channels. We'll escalate this to the board. Do not discuss it with anyone else. By 4 o'clock, Vera had convened a remote meeting with the audit chair. Within an hour, Charles Mercer's company access was revoked. His card was frozen. His assistant was instructed to collect his office keys. Then Amelia called. I just filed a criminal complaint with the DA, she said. Bigamy and fraudulent use of marital funds. Judith had made a mess out of emotion. I was cleaning it up with precision. By Monday morning, the silence was starting to fill with noise, frantic noise. My phone lit up again and again with calls from Judith. I didn't answer any of them. Each voicemail was more desperate than the last. Gordon, what's going on? None of my cards are working. Did you cancel everything? I can't even check out of the hotel. Please, answer me. I didn't. I just forwarded every message to Amelia, who texted back a single line. Keep documenting. Through the bank's alerts, I could see the moment she tried to use another card. Declined. The pipeline was shut. She was trapped in the life she'd built on my dime. By early afternoon, Amelia called again. Gordon, I spoke to a contact in Vegas PD. The DA approved the warrant. We're coordinating with airport police for her arrival tonight. Good. She continued. One more thing. I reached out to Charles's wife, Zara Mercer. I thought she deserved to know. That gave me pause. And? She already suspected something. I sent her the evidence. She's told me she wants to be there when they land. At 9:20 p.m., their flight from Las Vegas touched down at our local airport. I wasn't there. I didn't need to be. The scene played out on a local news live stream after someone tipped off a reporter. The video showed Judith and Charles walking out, both looking exhausted and irritated. They didn't get far. 2 uniformed officers approached. Judith Parker? One asked. She froze. Yes? You're under arrest for bigamy. Please step to the side. Charles turned just as another voice cut through the noise, calm, sharp, and cold. It was Zara. She stepped forward, holding a folder of documents. You'll hear from my attorney, Charles. Then she handed him the papers and walked away without another word. Judith's face went white as the cameras flashed. She spent 2 nights in jail before her parents posted bail. I didn't visit. Amelia handled everything through the courts. The bigamy charge stuck at first, but her lawyer pushed for a deal. She claimed the wedding was a drunken mistake, that she thought it was a joke. Unfortunately for her, the signed marriage license and chapel footage said otherwise. When I filed for divorce, there was nothing left to discuss. Amelia attached the photos, the texts, the receipts, and the criminal record. The judge barely needed a hearing. The ruling was fast, irreconcilable differences with proof of marital misconduct. She tried to argue that she deserved part of the house. Amelia simply slid the printed selfie across the table. Your Honor, she said, the petitioner's spouse signed a marriage license with another man while still legally wed to my client. That ended the discussion. Judith's professional world fell apart just as quickly. The company suspended her within 24 hours of the airport incident. Her face had been on every local news site. Charles Mercer was fired outright for violating corporate ethics, falsifying expenses, and engaging in an affair with a subordinate. His wife, Zara, took the house, 2 cars, and a good share of his investments. Judith lost more than a marriage. She lost her career, her reputation, and the friends who had once called her ambitious. When the press covered the story, Vegas boss wedding ends in arrest, her name became the punchline. A few weeks later, I got a message from her father. It was short. "Please, no more court action. She's learned enough." I didn't reply. The lesson wasn't mine to teach. By the end of summer, the divorce was finalized. The house, accounts, and everything else reverted to my name. It was over, legally and financially. But emotionally, there was still one meeting left, the kind that closes a chapter completely. It was 3 months later when Judith asked to meet. She'd been quiet since the divorce hearing, but the message that came through Amelia was polite. Just one conversation. Closure. I agreed, on one condition, a public place, short and civil. We met at a cafe, the kind with open seating and no corners to hide in. She looked different. The confidence was gone. She sat down, eyes on the table. "Gordon, I just wanted to say I'm sorry." I nodded once. "For what part?" She swallowed hard. "All of it. The trip. The photo. It wasn't real, you know. We were drunk. It was supposed to be funny. I didn't think—" "You'd get caught?" I finished. Her lips trembled. "I didn't mean to hurt you." I leaned back, calm, steady. "You didn't just hurt me, Judith. You destroyed everything. You sent a picture to humiliate me, and in doing so, you recorded evidence of a crime. That wasn't a mistake. That was arrogance." She looked up finally, tears forming. "I lost everything." "Yes," I said softly. "You did." I took a small folder from my briefcase and slid it across the table. Inside was a copy of the finalized divorce decree and a signed agreement from her lawyer confirming she waived all future claims. "This ends it," I said. "No more calls, no more messages. You start over." She nodded, staring down at the papers. "You really hate me, don't you?" I shook my head. "Hate takes effort. I just don't have any left to give." When I stood to leave, she whispered, "You always think 10 steps ahead, Gordon." I never stood a chance. I paused at the door. "You could have if you hadn't bet against your own life." That was the last time I saw her, until a year later, by accident. By then, everything had shifted. A year passed. Life found its rhythm again, quiet and structured, the way I preferred it. Judith's name occasionally surfaced in conversation, mostly in whispers. People said she'd moved to a small town, working odd jobs under her maiden name. I didn't care. Then one Thursday afternoon, while heading through the terminal before my flight, I saw her again. I was walking toward my gate when a woman behind a coffee counter called out, "Next, please." Her voice caught my attention first. When she looked up, I recognized her immediately. Judith. She wore a brown apron, a cap that barely hid her face, and that same nervous smile she used to give when she didn't want to be recognized. Her eyes flicked past me, unaware. I stepped forward, ordered a black coffee, and waited quietly. When she handed me the cup, her gaze lifted. Recognition hit like a light switch. Her hand froze midair. Apparently, at some point, she had come back to town. Maybe quietly, maybe just recently. I never heard. "Gordon," she whispered. I nodded once. "Judith." For a second, she looked like she might speak again, but the man behind me cleared his throat, impatient. She forced a small smile. "That'll be $3.95. I placed a $5 bill on the counter and slid it toward her. "Keep the change." Her mouth trembled. "You look good." "You seem awake," I said. It wasn't cruel. It was true. I turned and walked away, the cup warm in my hand. I didn't look back. As I reached the gate, I thought about that first message she'd sent. "Married my boss. Don't wait up." Those words had detonated an entire life. Now, a year later, the balance was clean. No hate, no love, just the quiet math of consequence. She'd married her boss in Vegas. I'd divorced her from everything that came after. And for the first time in a long time, I felt exactly what I'd texted her that night. Perfect. Thank you for watching.